what we were doing for our energy policy. We kept declaring all our energy off limits, more and more of it. We wouldn't use the energy we've got. We may have more, or we do have more energy when you consider all the resources than any other country in the world. While the president's busy out there deriding America for using too much energy, we make the world safer. We make the world more peaceable. We make the environment cleaner. When manufacturers leave America and go to other places in the world, they pollute 4 to 10 times more in most of the places that those manufacturers are going to. If you really care about the environment, we'll keep them here. Many of them are union jobs. You'd think the unions would embrace what we're trying to do rather than what the president's doing. But I understand loyalty runs deep. We've got health care that has been rammed down the throats of Americans. Majority didn't want it. The elections revealed that in November of 2010. All of the polls revealed that throughout 2009 and 2010. We got it forced upon us. When really what this government does best is play referee. Make sure everybody is playing fair and playing by the rules, because the problem is when we become a player, we become a coach, and the referee, we're terrible at all three. When we get so involved in owning part of Wall Street that we're not watching what's going on, you have things like Madoff ripping people off right and left. We should be the referees, making sure everybody plays fairly. Not the players, not the coaches, but the referees. Government, federal government especially, is a terrible coach trying to tell people how to make a business work. The best thing that could happen is if we get insurance companies out of the health care management business that they're in now. They're really not in the insurance business anymore. They're in the health management business. And if we don't get them back into the insurance business and out of them managing our lives and our health, then they'll be out of business and the government will take over it all, just as Obamacare anticipates. That's where it's all headed. If we don't get the federal government out of being a player and coach and referee in health care, then the government will ultimately be the only player and coach and referee. And that does not bode well for Americans. We have a chance now, for the first time since the 60s, since Medicare was thought up, to allow our seniors to take control of their own health care and give them the resources to do it. There would be nothing like a real test. Medicare here, you want Medicare, have it, just the way it is. Or we'll buy you a health care private insurance policy that will be referees and make sure they play fair. And we'll make it a high deductible policy because those are so much cheaper. And then we'll give you cash in a health savings account that will be enough to cover the amount of your deductible each year. And in the end, it will be cheaper. And it will give people the dignity and patients the control of their health care so they don't have to beg the federal government. They don't have to beg this board that the Obamacare has set up. They don't have to beg some insurance company, please, please let me have this treatment. You'll have insurance, you'll have the money to cover the high deductible, and we move people into being in charge of their own lives. Because the alternative is rather grim. But let's be clear. This government wants to control people's lives, and as soon as Obamacare were to be fully operational, then the federal government has every right to tell people what they can eat, tell people what medicines they can have, tell people when they won't get that pacemaker, as the president told the lady at the White House during the town hall. Maybe it's time we tell people like your mom, who had 10 extra years of life because of a pacemaker. Maybe it's time to tell your mom You don't get the pacemaker, you just take a pain pill. If we don't get this turned around, the government will have every right to tell you what to eat, what to drink, how much you have to exercise, what you can and can't do. Our freedoms will be gone. I've got a great quote here from one of the founders. A man named Thomas Jefferson. Oh. If people let the government decide what foods they eat and what medicines they take, their bodies will soon be in as sorry a state as are the souls of those who live under tyranny. Thomas Jefferson. Those that say, gee, I want to have unlimited sex and I want the government to pay for it. Somebody's got to. I want the government controlling my life. People that feel like they need the government telling them what to do wherever it is, whatever aspect of life. Sam Adams is given credit as being one of the most influential founders in giving us this great nation. Sam Adams, if you love wealth better than liberty, the tranquility of servitude than the animating contest of freedom, go from us in peace. We ask not your counsels or your arms. Crouch down and lick the hands which feed you. May your chains sit lightly upon you, and may posterity forget that you were ever our countrymen. Sam Adams. Now, once the government has the right to control everybody's health care, it will have the right to tell you what freedoms it will recognize and you can practice and which you can't. That's why one of the reasons Obamacare is so objectionable. It's the government intrusion into so many areas of our lives. The First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or the press, or the right of the people peaceable to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. We're not supposed to make a law prohibiting the free exercise of religion. Obamacare does that. It gives this government the power to say, you know what? People ought to be able to get abortions paid for by the government, which means the taxpayers pay for it. They ought to be able to get contraceptives as they wish. So never mind the fact that right now, if there's somebody in America that needs contraceptives, they can be obtained. Plenty of sources. Still, the president feels the need to intrude upon religious beliefs and say, folks, you can't practice this belief. You believe abortion is murder, it's murder of an unborn child. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just say your money doesn't go for abortions. Yet in Obamacare, it's very clear there will be clinics, there will be policies that will provide abortions, and people that pay into policies, those policies insure across the board, and they will cover that. And money is fungible. It will be used for abortions. It will be used for contraceptives, even though there are people putting in money to the system that object and feel they are violating their religious beliefs.